Chapter 1. Historical Summary. The Fall of Constantinople. The year 1453. The world was on the brink of a major transformation. Istanbul, the heart of the centuries-old Byzantine Empire, was about to breathe its last. This ancient capital of the Eastern Roman Empire had become a sacred symbol for both the Christian and Muslim worlds, and that year, Mehmed II, the Ottoman Sultan who would later gain the title of Fatih, a mere 21-year-old, launched one of the greatest sieges in history. The Ottoman army pounded the city's magnificent walls for days with its massive cannons. Byzantium resisted with a last hope, awaiting aid from the Christian world. Europe's kings, however, were preoccupied with their own internal strife, ignoring Byzantium's last cries. And finally, on the morning of May 29th, the Ottoman army launched its final assault. Constantinople fell. This wasn't just the conquest of a city. This moment went down in history as the end of the Middle Ages and the beginning of the modern era. The Ottoman Empire became one of Europe's most powerful states. But now let's ask, what would have happened if history had been written differently that day? If Byzantium had been able to defend Istanbul, what kind of world would we be living in today? Part 2. But what if Byzantium had won that day? Let's reverse history for a moment. The Ottomans failed to take Constantinople. The siege failed. Mehmed the Conqueror, perhaps bearing the weight of defeat at such a young age, retreated. Byzantium, however, miraculously survived. In this case, the Ottoman advance in Europe would have suffered a severe blow. For Constantinople was not just a city, it was the heart of the empires. An Ottoman who failed to capture it would have been trapped in the Balkans and perhaps never grown. The Turkmen principalities in Anatolia would have resurfaced, weakening the Ottoman authority. Byzantium, on the other hand, could have received new support from Europe after this unexpected victory. The papacy, seeing that Constantinople had not fallen, could have reunited the Christian world. In this way, Byzantium would have perhaps continued to exist for a few more centuries, and the rise of the Ottomans would have been a parenthesis in the pages of history.
Part 3. Would Europe enter the Renaissance earlier? Now, let's think about how this alternate scenario would affect Europe. If the Ottomans had stalled, Europe could have grown stronger much faster, because the Ottomans would never have gained dominance over the Eastern Mediterranean. Merchants would trade more freely, and explorers would set out to discover new routes much earlier. Perhaps the great geographical discoveries wouldn't have waited for the end of the 15th century. The Americas might have been discovered long before the Ottomans ever rose to power. The printing press would spread more rapidly across Europe, and the Renaissance might begin far earlier. In short, the fall that never happened, the Ottomans' failure to capture Constantinople, would become a catalyst for Europe. A modern age could have begun much sooner than in the world we know. And in this version of history, the Ottomans would remain a small Anatolian state, never earning the title of an empire.